Roof GPT, AI platforms, integrations, and the future of roofing sales, all this and more in today's episode of the Mission Control Podcast. Thank you for joining. I'm your host, Michael Stearns. Today we have a very special guest, Nick Peret with Better Boss. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe and leave any questions you have in the comments.
Yeah.
What's good, Nick? We got Nick Peret, Better Boss, Roof GPT. But first, before we get to that, and you guys are in for a treat today, I'd like to thank Roofer. You guys are a great company. So if you need roof measurements, instant roof quotes, clean and pristine proposals that will give your prospects no choice but to buy from you, need a CRM, or just to talk to some great people, hit up the team at Roofer. There's going to be a link down in the description. Y'all know what to do. Nick Peret, my guy. So what is Better Boss? What is Roof GPT? And why should people care? Elevator pitch, baby. Let's hear it.
You want the elevator pitch right out of the bat, so you're not even gonna give me a chance to warm up over here, hey? I'll tell you what. It's a mission-driven company for sure, because when I started a lead generation company, 9 years ago, and we're generating these leads, it didn't take me long to realize that operationally and at a tech software standpoint, there is a lot of complication, a lot of confusion, a lot of errors, right? And so when I started Better Boss, the biggest thing is how can I help these roofing contractors maximize software like CRMs, AI, automation, where it finally becomes an asset to their business rather than a liability. Because I do think it is one of the key components of being able to scale a roofing company efficiently, right? Finally get some time back and your sanity back, right? Where you're not running around with putting out fires consistently. And so that's why I started Better Boss, right? And so we're increasing close rates. We're lowering software costs. I mean, $7,200 a month we've done. I mean, it adds up, right? Even time, we're giving contractors back, owners, salespeople, 600 hours sometimes a year, right? Where they're not having to do that manual entry stuff, the follow-up stuff, the stuff that can be automated. And then with Roof GPT, I mean, dude, AI, right? I remember downloading my first Chat GPT account 3 years ago, right? And I just exited that last business and I don't know what to do in my life. And dude, I downloaded that account. I was like, holy cow, this is something here, right? And so what we're doing with Roof GPT, the whole idea and the whole concept and mission there is supercharging your sales reps, right? A lot of these contractors we're working with, they're sales organizations. We just got done working with a contractor in Florida, 35 reps, right? So salespeople, I am a salesperson at heart. Salespeople don't like follow-up. They don't like filling out their CRM. They don't like any of that stuff. They want to be selling. So ideally, each one of those reps has their own sales agent that's handling stuff like that, like the follow-up and the engagement with customers, giving them opportunity to close more deals, right, and not have to deal with follow-up. Because I hate follow-up, man, but I learned follow-up at 17 years old. I was selling cars at Wild Honda, and my manager, Ali, because I didn't have a good month that month, was like, follow up some people. I'm like, dude, what is that going to do, right? And I called this couple, and, dude, they were so excited that I called them back, and they came in and they bought a vehicle that day. Right. And so that's when I learned about the power of follow up. So that's a big part of our intentions there with Roof GPT.
That's very well said. There's a lot to talk about within that. And we're going to work on your elevator pitch because I was thinking like 30 to 45 seconds. But I feel like there was
right.
a lot
that was
there.
what, 4 minutes? 4 minutes, 5 minutes? What did I get you on?
Don't matter, bro. We're not keeping score.
I'm a blabber.
You said how many hours you're saving a year?
Dude, so we had one guy in LA, 620 hours, right? So
620
basically
hours. So that's 25% of a work year.
Yeah.
It's interesting. A lot of the times when, obviously we generate leads for people and we talk about revenue and profit and lead costs and all these different things, what it costs to acquire a customer. And all these things are very clean and quantifiable from the sense of you can put it in a spreadsheet and the numbers are there. Do you find that sometimes, in your experience, people discount the value of their time?
I would say so. I almost think they don't even consider it. I would say, if I can increase their close rates, if I can drive more revenue, they're going to get really excited about that. But until we actually give them their time back, like in my spiel, they don't usually care And so what I try to do is break it down to like an ROI calculator of, right, how much you paying yourself a year, right? So then we break that down to what their hours worth, and then multiply that and be like, hey, this is like $50,000.
Right.
Right. And so that can showcase it. But it's interesting is I think a lot of the people we talk to and work with, there can be some stress there because, maybe they grew and now they're dealing with these growing pains and they're just so used to the firefighting that they don't even kind of consider that as one of their priorities to fix. It's usually more of a revenue thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I like the way that you break it down because I do a similar exercise with folks. But even in the instance of like a salesperson, when you talk about the like roof calculators, right? Like Roofer, they got the instant quote, and I know that people do extremely well by virtue of leveraging that in conjunction with ads or QR codes or driving people and differentiating them from other people in the marketplace. And a lot of the times, maybe you're quoting 10% or 20% of the jobs that come in, and people are, sales reps get upset with that. And it's like, dude, okay, so let's take a step back here. Like, do you want to run 10 leads when 4 of them you were never going to sell because once you got to the price, they were going to shut down, give you every objection that you can't overcome, not take your follow-up call? Or would you rather get them out on the front end and be able to focus that additional, like, what is the value of time associated with an appointment in roofing on average? 2 hours between getting prepared for it, commuting there, sitting with a homeowner, 2 to 3 hours maybe. So like if we can get 4 of those out of the funnel a week for you, that's 12 hours, that's 48 hours a month, that's almost that 600 hours a year. Like you can actually spend that running qualified appointments.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I know how you feel about that. And I do want to say too, you mentioned Roofar. Great system, right? When you're talking about saving time, I think they have one of the best proposal estimating systems in the game for sure, right? So ideally, you get their roof report, $12, right? No brainer, way cheaper than most people, and then you basically just hit create proposal, and you have a proposal that is synced to SRS, ABC, right? So you have up to date pricing. Right. And then each one of those line items has a formula in it that's going to calculate the quantity and pricing for it, right, based off the roof report measurements. And now you have a good, better, best with financing in 4 minutes. Right. And it's just rinse and repeat. So it's like trying to productize some of those services too, I think is a big thing that I try to push on, because nobody really gives a crap of your roofing service for somebody else's. Right. But if you could try to like productize it, brand it, put a little bow on top, right? And try to kind of differentiate those and make it easy to kind of, all right, I want this one, and then I want this upgrade, boom, boom, right? And then just show the financing at the end as the final price. You're going to get a lot more one-call closes, and average ticket sizes can go up.
Yeah, I like that, and I couldn't agree more. So let's say I'm a roofing contractor, and I hear all the buzz around AI, but I'm just not a computer guy, all right? I do roofs, I run a business, love my family, but I don't love computers, I don't love technology, right? But I want to embrace it. Where do I start?
I mean, and this answer could be boring. It's kind of just like when people ask me about working out, and I'm like, literally run a mile every day. I don't care what it is. It could take you 30 minutes, right? Just kind of start that repetition and building out that habit in your life. It just starts with ChatGPT, right? I mean, I know it's the all the fuss and everything like that, but just get an account and start using it. Have it on your phone, have it on your computer, right? $20 a month. Get a paid version for sure, right? But just start to use and learn the capabilities, right? Like my wife wanted a new rug, so she took a picture of the rug and she took a picture of our kitchen, right? And then AI made an image of what that would look like, right? Just start to use the tools, right? Start to check out the different modes, right? Agent mode or deep research mode, where these tools are literally working for you, right? Behind the scenes and doing tasks. And I think you probably pretty quickly realize that it's going to have a significant impact. And if you do really love your business as much as you're telling me, and your family as much as you're telling me, let's be for real. If you don't learn this stuff, you know what the negative consequences are going to be. I don't think I even have to touch on it. There's a reason why it's blowing up the way it's blowing up.
Yeah.
So it's a good decision. So at least start to play with it.
Okay. So let's say I get to the point where like I've become familiar with it. I'm no longer terrified of it. I've started to lean in. I've developed good habits. I'm talking with ChatGPT an hour a day, and that's grown over time because we started with 10 minutes. So we're building momentum, and there's all these opportunities that I see within my business, but I still don't know how to do any of this shit, right? Like I'm understanding conceptually how this can make an impact, but I don't know how to do it. How do I know who to hire, where to start, what questions to ask? Like, I see people in these roofing groups all the time where it's like I worked with an AI consultant and it didn't go well. And it was $50,000 or $30,000. That's just a lot of money for me and my family. So, like, who do I hire? What questions do I ask and make sure I'm not getting goosed?
Hey, better boss, we won't let you down. I promise you that. I think the biggest thing is it goes just similar situation to you guys, right? You want somebody who is a specialist in your field, in your industry, and then also at the solution that you're looking for, or the service that you're looking for. So you need someone who is niche focused. So like with Better Boss, I think like the biggest advantage that we've had is, I've worked with 500 plus roofing contractors in the last 9 years, from 0 to 50 million, right? I've seen what works, what doesn't work, right? And now with spending so much time on the AI side of things, right? And you look at all these different workflows and all these different ideas that people have, right? Like, I already have the background knowledge in terms of your processes and where we can sync AI for the best results. And, if you want to do something where you do want to learn and implement your own business, maybe cost is an issue, I would say just try to build out some custom bots in ChatGPT, right? You can build it out where you upload your company website information. You can put your knowledge base in terms of SOPs and different training that you want to know about, right? And then focus on just one skill. Right. So what happens with AI is people try to give it too many different skills or responsibilities. OK, so like if you wanted somebody who is good at supplementing. Right. I just got off a podcast with Aaron Christie out with Indie Roofing. Right. And has got 10 different custom bots. One just handles supplementing. Right now, his team uses that for all their supplementing processes. Right. So give it just one skill. Right. I would just start with one bot and focus on one area that's pain point that you want to be more efficient at or better at, and then build that out. And that would be a great spot if you couldn't afford it or you don't want to make the investment.
Okay. Where are the three most obvious pain points for contractors where they would be able to leverage AI to make them more efficient, make them more happy, make them more profitable?
100%. I mean, I would say training or like employee questions for sure has been one that I've always thought about, right? Like I know that there's a lot of leaders that they do step out of that position where they're not supposed to be getting every question and whatnot, but unfortunately they're still getting a lot of questions from accounting, accounts receivable, sales, blah, blah, blah. And now they still kind of have their hands in everything. What happens is the team just kind of gets used to the habit of always asking management or leadership these questions rather than trying to find the solution themselves. So I think if you do kind of pack it in where they have kind of their own go-to bot that kind of helps them with certain situations, I think it helps reduce the amount of questions and time you have to spend with them on that and try to proactively find solutions themselves. So I think that's a big one. Sales and follow-up, of course, right? I mean, I think that's something that we all struggle with, and that was our big goal with Roof GPT, right? Is to focus on that area, no doubt. And just like speed to lead stuff too, I think is a big opportunity. You could do it with, like the AI calling stuff, or audit, like any of that kind of stuff, I think is big. Now, obviously you're going to want some kind of transparency, and you can kind of tell me what you think it is, but dude, some of these calling bots you can make are just like absolutely insane. Right. So I think if you give transparency, let's say it's a contact form or whatever it might be, that an AI will be calling. I mean, you have cal.com, you have that integrated, and it can just book the appointment immediately, right? As soon as that lead comes in. So I think stuff like that is pretty compelling.
What do you see in difference of close rates or rehash or follow-up appointments versus initial contact appointments, or post-appointment closes when you're leveraging AI solutions through like a Roof GPT versus when it's left as a responsibility on the rep or a rehash team? Like, what does that look like?
Dude, so personally, I think, someone like you, I think we're your best friend because, you're getting hate on a lead not being good or, them not closing enough. But we all know the stats, right? We've all seen the stats where it's like, hey, it takes an average of 8 touch points or whatever it might be. Chances are they probably called that lead one time, the lead didn't respond, and then that was game over, right? So we all know that the money's in the follow up, right? And so we have it in beta right now. But I mean, in the first week, we had one roofer that added 45K in closed deals in that first week with Roof GPT, right? Because of stuff like that. So follow up is massive, and I think speed to lead is another one that's so big, right, dude? And I saw some stats too that I thought was crazy about roofers missing phone calls. I think it was like during storm season. It was something insane. I don't want to say a for sure number because I don't remember, but I know it was like 30 to 50% or something like that, right? Where, dude, those are missed opportunities, right? Those are leads that you paid for, whether it's through brand awareness, through a Facebook ad, through SEO, whatever it might be, that you're missing out on. So I do think like an AI receptionist, at least, is something that's big for sure. And then, of course, the follow-up stuff.
Yeah, I got a few clients that started using one specifically, and they've been happy with the results.
Yeah. I mean, what do people care about? We were talking about it yesterday. Quick experience, fast,
experience,
now.
Convenience, service, quality. Like, it's not this or that, right? Let's give them the whole.
But they're
thing.
impatient though, especially B2C. They're impatient.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody wants to spend 10, 20, 30, $40,000 on a roof. So when they finally get the gumption to call and you don't answer, like, I'm calling the next fucking person. And when they answer, and also, like, I don't know, you should make your company available 24 hours. Because if I look somewhere at 6 o'clock and it says you're closed, I'm going to assume I'm going to get an answering machine because most contractors that I've had experience with don't initially have some sort of call answering or AI receptionist. So I don't want to deal with that. I want to call somebody who I can talk to somebody.
So I lease cars now. I had some issues with a vehicle once. I had to pour a bunch of money. So now I just lease. And this last time I got a new one, I only went to a dealership where I did the entire process online, right? Where it is, I can basically get my trade in. I can do majority of the paperwork. Literally all I had to do is just go pick it up basically, right? That's like, ideally, I think I'd like to get to the point where we're helping roofing contractors get to that point where it's obviously I would still want that in-person close. I think that's still cash money, but there's going to be a marketplace where people want it majority done online.
Yeah,
right?
I would assume that would be the young tilt toes closer to the younger demographic, right?
It's gonna happen though, dude.
The type that you call and they text back, shit drives me fucking crazy. Yeah.
Amen. 100%.
Text you, I would have texted you. Why are you texting me back if I call you? Just reciprocate the method of communication.
Don't you think that's gonna be like what it's gonna be like, almost like a Carvana, where it's like you basically go on there, right? You're gonna have all your measurements and stuff done for you. You're gonna pick the colors. It's gonna do, like those widgets where it's gonna showcase the difference. It's gonna pull up your financing stuff, and it's basically like done, boom.
I don't know. I've been hearing that scream from the rooftops for years now, and I haven't seen a discernible difference where it's like, you would have thought it would happen a lot quicker if it was going to happen in that capacity. I think that there's a lot of, I don't know, if I'm running a roofing company, I don't know that I want that because I know how much people distrust roofing companies, and I know how much the power of me having somebody out there influences the ability for us to sell, especially if we're a value-oriented company and we're, top 30% as far as pricing in the market, meaning like we're substantially more than a lot of the other people. And we know like that we're going to attract and repel people. So my brand messaging, my brand identity, my like consistently, I'm going to be talking about things that are value oriented, and that's fine. Like I don't care about the people that see my price on an instant roof quote and they run for the hills. Go choose the crackhead off Craigslist, that'll do it for 60% cheaper, and then call me in 2 years when your roof's fucked. It's fine.
100%.
Dude, yeah. But people get scared about it. They're like, well, we're going to lose opportunities. Like, you don't want to work with those folks, So I would want an option for that. But I don't see it ever getting to the place, though, where, like, it's predominantly done online. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I think if that was going to happen, it would have we would see a larger percentage of that taking place already?
I mean, dude, I think timing is everything in life, right? And maybe the timing just wasn't right, or the solution or opportunity to build it out right wasn't there. I mean, look at QR codes, right? Comeback
Don't take
of
the
the
fucking biggest comeback in
century.
5,000 years and sit here.
Oh
Son of a
yeah,
bitch.
dude! I'm telling you, like stuff like that. VR, I think still VR is gonna go. I don't think the timing was quite right there. You know what I mean? But I saw that one Apple thing where, dude, you got the what is it, the Apple Vision Pro or something, where you can pull up all the screens, dude. Dude, oh man, I mean that's interesting to me. Stuff like that. So I still think there's an opportunity, dude. And I'm telling you, I was talking to this one guy that was starting a roofing company, and he had like a $500 million solar company or something like that. I don't know. He booked a call online, and he was just getting going. But that was basically like his vision. And I've had a few conversations with some smart people that have been talking about that. So I think someone's gonna hit it, and it's just a matter of time.
What's the timeline for you? At what point in time does it flip to at least 50.0001% of the market or more is purchasing roofs in the experience that you described?
So you're saying half the market, or over half?
Anything over 50% of the market.
That might be 10 years. I'll say that might be 10 years. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to be like a lot of other things where the people who are first to do it get a huge reward for it, right? They see a significant boost. And then eventually more people start doing it. And then the significant return is not going to be as great.
Okay. What are other things to consider? Let's assume that is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
What other considerations need to be made to properly position yourself to where it doesn't just become a fucking race to the bottom where people are buying off the number on the screen?
It's all about pitching your value, right? It's about the same thing that the
But you don't have the
premium
opportunity to pitch
contractors
it,
are
right?
doing.
If they're just coming to your
Well,
website,
you can. You know what I mean? Think about, like, you know about this, right? Like the landing page fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want? Social proof, right? You want guarantees, right? So it's like actually putting together a legitimate offer. I think having like videos, reviews, right? A seamless process, just all that kind of stuff, I think can do it for sure. 100%. Because I mean, dude, when I buy anything online, what's up?
if they read it, like when people get in the mindset of like, okay, I'm going to get a price, the likelihood that they're going to then read through the copy that you associate with that landing page is substantially lower, right?
Dude, what are you hunting for? I'm telling you, what I'll do, dude, is I do the same thing with software, right? Like, let's say I'm trying to find a new software that's going to fit somebody, right? I rip G2, I read, all the major ones, and I'm trying to find all these reviews. Basically, if they have like 4.8, around there at least, if they have a bunch of reviews on all these different platforms, they're locked. They sold me as a trust where I'm either gonna pay for 1 month or get that free trial for sure. It's on that list.
Sure.
Right. And so like when you're hunting, you're looking for that stuff, right? Like you're looking for something to be like, I can end my shopping experience, right? Because I don't want to do this, right? And I feel confident in my decision and move on in my life.
Yeah. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here just to kind of play this out, and like maybe my
100%.
perspective changes after it. When I hear that though, I think, okay, those are fair points, and I too do have a similar, I guess, purchasing path. But there is a key distinction there where it's like I can do a trial, or my level of investment is $200 if I can do it month to month. Where if I'm choosing to making a $30,000 or $40,000 decision, and I don't have the same ability to pitch our value, like what are some things that have to happen from like the branding perspective prior to that? Like, does that become disproportionately more impactful? It's still important right now. I think it's incredibly undervalued for most companies, right?
Yeah.
But like what kind of tweaks into consideration have to be made there? What kind of guarantees? Like, let's assume that when
So you just nailed it. You just nailed it. Guarantees. You literally just nailed it. That's what I was thinking about the entire time you were kind of going through that thought process. Guarantees. And I'm telling you, this is when I'm working with my own business, because I'm always trying to fix my own errors, right? And I was talking about that $100 million roofer GPT I put together, right? With that $100 million offer book. Guarantees is one of the things, right? And I kind of went through my sales and marketing stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I'm giving some people enough just to feel comfortable with, hey, I want to do this, but this kind of made me feel comfortable. And it's the guarantees, right? So now it's like we have 6 modules in our system. We're guaranteeing that if you pick a module, we're going to have it built out with revisions, up and ready to go 30 days, right? And then if you do 3 modules, we have a 3x ROI guarantee, right? And we'll keep working for free if you don't see it, right? And so I think you putting in some kind of guarantee and some kind of promise, right, is kind of that pushing point to kind of get them over the edge.
Yeah. So then my question becomes, so let's say workmanship and manufacturer warranty is your guarantee. You know, you get 20 years, non-prorated, and everybody's got that on their landing page because they're creating this, you know, online experience, shopping experience. What are some outside of the box guarantees that we could roll out potentially on that landing page to compel people that and draw attention and compel them, right? Because get their eyeballs, get them interested, then compel them to fucking choose us once they see the price.
And I mean, that's the hardest part, right? And so like, even when I'm putting to this, like these guarantees and these promises together for myself, dude, you start to realize, you know, everybody's doing free estimate. There really is no offer. And I know we kind of touched on this. So I think if you can actually stand out by trying to think of some compelling offer, right? Where you have a name of your campaign, right? And so like I just did this thing, we'll replace your roof in 14 days or less, or we'll pay you $500 back, right? Whatever it might be, right? But you have to think a little bit differently. And I'm telling you, that's the hardest point. And then what happens when you go through that process is you're trying to like do these value stacks. You end up actually like pushing yourself to be like, can I make my business as valuable? Like for Better Boss, it was, hey, people want this stuff implemented fast, right? So I'm like, can I implement this in 30 days or less, right? And so now all of a sudden you're starting to push yourself at like a production or execution standpoint too. And so it's one of those weird things where your customers get a better solution, right? And a better offer. And all of a sudden now you're executing actually better because you're starting to like push those boundaries a little bit.
I like that. And the guarantee doesn't have to necessarily, I think that's a great one, right? Like we guarantee you in X amount of days. And then maybe something in small print where it's like, hey, if we get smacked with a fucking hurricane, you know, we can't pay 40 customers. You know, so there's got to be some sort of qualification down there. But also, like, I don't know, we guarantee, like, our commitment to the community. We guarantee that X amount of dollars from each project go back into the community, right? And, you know, maybe you have
100%.
charities that people can choose from. I've never seen that. I've never had a client give me that information for their website, so that'd be different. Maybe you run it through, you know, Perplexity or ChatGPT or Claude and ask them, right? Ask the genius bots, like, what are some guarantees for my roofing company that are different than others that will give people no choice but to choose us when they're considering purchasing a roof?
This is the perfect season, perfect time in life to be trying stuff like this, you know? And I was just having this conversation with somebody where basically a lot of roofing contractors are sales and marketing companies, right? They're trying to get leads and they're trying to build out a big sales team. It could be 20, 30 reps in some cases where they're building out these massive sales teams. And what happens is during these drier seasons for the roofing industry, we become a little more battle tested and have to be a little more creative, right? So now when we're trying to stand out in the marketplace, you know, you working on your sales and marketing strategies at a different level of just thought and strategy to how you can stand out with these kind of offers is the way to kind of break through the noise and try to create some opportunities and steal market share during these tougher times.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we got some guarantees, and within 10 years, 50+% of people will be purchasing online. We're going to circle back in 2035. If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you how wrong you were.
Dude, if it doesn't happen by then, I don't know. We'll be living in a hologram by then. So I
can't believe you tried to pull Trump card of fucking the QR code and talk about the greatest, most unprecedented comebacks set forth by fucking COVID.
Dude,
that thing
I
was
used to
dead in the
hate
water.
QR codes.
QR codes could have been more dead before COVID.
I hated QR codes so much, man. And boom, bounce back, baby. What about VR? What about VR? Because that's another one, man. I bought one of those Facebook Oculus things. Honestly, I never used it. I got rid of it. But the the Vision one, that the Air or whatever, the Apple Vision, that intrigues me. Like being able to work.
I don't know. I think as far as setting a stage for timing, the time couldn't have been more ripe because you had a bunch of people bored as fuck sitting at home during a pandemic when like Meta dropped their shit. And I know a lot of people that bought them, and it was kind of fun. Like I did the boxing thing on it. It was dope. Like I had a lot of fun with it. I was sore as shit the next day. And I was just like,
I think the hard part is like when I do it, I don't want to be so secluded. So the one I had, you couldn't see outside of it, right? So I felt like it was just me playing by myself. So I think it's kind of increasing kind of like the social engagement. And if you look at the stats, the younger generation isn't leaving their house. So they want to leave the house virtually. And so they can hang out with their friends, do whatever, and never have to leave the house or go outside.
It really started with PlayStation 3, man. Once like PlayStation Network allowed you to hop in a lobby with your boys and play Call of Duty. And I'm like, this is the end of our friendship. Like, I'm never going to see this fucking guy again.
No, dude. I got buddies, man. They're doing Xbox, every few nights after work going on, dude. I think my wife would kill me, dude. At the amount of work and stuff, I was playing Xbox, dude. I'd be done.
Yeah. What are some changes you see coming down the pipe here for AI and having like strong impact related to what you guys do and what roofing companies should or shouldn't be doing?
I actually just put together, I want to pull this up. I think I could share some tools too that I like. And what's kind of cool about AI is honestly, some of these tools you can implement at a fairly inexpensive price point and kind of see, some fantastic ROI. So like just Descript, I absolutely love Descript. It's the AI video editing software. I've been using that for like 2.5 years. You can get it for like $29. It has the capabilities to create those shorts and stuff for you and whatnot, but it's basically like a Google Sheet for video editing. So someone like me who sucks at video editing, it makes the process so easy and so seamless. And now it's like, dude, I literally put a pitch deck, a PDF pitch deck, I uploaded it, and it created one of those AI avatar videos for me that was legit. Pitched it probably better than I would have, honestly. And it was just done for me. So it's just speeding everything up. Dude, one tool that's got a bunch of AI stuff too that I always talk about that I think is like the most underrated. And it's funny because I was a big Adobe guy. And so like, if you were using this tool, you were not cool. You just didn't know what you were doing. Now I use it for everything. Canva, dude. Like the stuff you can do, like image resolution, AI voice, just like the magic wrap tool, all the stuff that, they can create images, videos, everything in there, right? So like a lot of times what we'll do is we'll create like a pitch deck in there where it's like hot buttons. So basically I have the good, better, best proposal. You made that 4 minutes. You already have that ready to go. But basically you do like an add to cart type vibe and a different experience where you give the homeowner the tablet, they're pressing, boom, 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 different experience. Once it's time to be like, what do you want? It's like, oh, add this, right? And then you have the estimate like right there. Doing stuff like that's been great, but it's really easy to keep your brand just like in line with a tool like that. For AI calling, one of my favorites is Retail AI. So I set up a bunch of ones for like inbound and outbound. And so I was like testing them, doing like different objections and seeing like what they could all handle. I would say that was the one that I was the most impressed. And what's cool is a lot of these, you're paying $500 at the min to do, but like this one, it's $6, and then after that, it's just usage, right? So if it's actually making an impact, that's when it's worth it.
Yeah.
So some other stuff too, like Fathom AI, any of these AI callers, dude, when you have those transcripts and not having to take notes, Opus clips to make like the shorts. I have Dialpad for my phone system, and so they have like AI recaps on every call, so then you don't have to add the notes to the CRM. One thing that's underrated is, dude, any kind of browser extension. So like I'm a huge fan of Google extensions, right? Like anything Google extension, I'm ripping for sure, because that's going to supercharge the browser. And you can do this on your CRM now, where it's like you do Cider AI or like Monica AI. And basically you can have that on your CRM if you download the app or if you have it in your browser. And it's picking up on everything on your window, right? So if you go into like proposals or if you went to invoices tab or whatever it is, like it's consuming all that information, right? And now whatever you want to do with it, whether it's reporting or insights or advice, blah, 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 it's just boom, boom. It's just working in sync with you.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I love this. So I saw that you did, you offered a bunch of these builds lifetime free of Roofer GBT, right?
Yep.
Like if somebody wanted to hire your company, because you're great, you know, you did well.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Now you're helping folks with the alien shit, all the bot shit, right? Trying to make them better, helping them become better, and I appreciate you for that. Like how do they go about reaching you, giving you if they want to spend their money with you, sir? What's the best way for them to do it?
Go to mybetterboss.ai. Right, book a 60-minute call with us. See if you guys are a good fit and if we can help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Even if you have some questions on AI stuff or whatnot, right? I'm always looking to build relationships, so feel free to book a call and just talk shop with me. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. And our mission, honestly, with Roof GPT is we want to become the #1 revenue generator out of any software in the roofing space. Like that's the plain simple goal, right? I know it's a big goal, but it's possible and it's gonna happen.
Hit my man Nick up. He's got healthy aspirations. Be a part of his journey. You'll be happy that you did. And then tell me how it went. Tell me how much you appreciate the Mission Control podcast for making that recommendation.
Best podcast in roofing.
You said it, not me.
Yep.
I'm just a guy trying to document for history in case, you know, we ever get wiped out. Like, there's got to be a record of all this information. So I'm doing my best.
Hey, I want to say this too. You know, Nick Peret, I have done, you know, roofing podcasts for maybe 8 years, hundreds of episodes, and I thought he did a good job. And then I met Mike Stearns, and I realized he's the best interviewer and best podcast host in roofing.
I feel the same about you. So samesies. Yeah, let's go. So hit him up, mybetterboss.io.
AI.
What's that?
.ai.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive, but I don't know though.
Oh shit, dude. I fucked it up in my notes. Well, look at say, and here's the thing: as he gets done, give me a pat on the back. I fuck up. All right, so here's the deal, right? Big takeaway is people aren't perfect, but we're gonna leave it all here on this Riverside.fm studio, knowing that we did our best to bring you value. You're gonna call Nick, and he's gonna pile on the value. He's gonna value stack for you. My bad, dude. .ai.
Don't even worry about it, dude. I switched domains too, so I screwed with you, dude. So don't even worry about it.
When did you? Was it .io before?
Yeah, it was Nick at mybetterboss.io or whatever, betterboss.io. Now it's mybetterboss.ai.
So that's what happened when I sent you the invite before the show. It was .io, so that's what stuck with me. And for that reason, I take my apology back. I'm not sorry because he did a mind fuck on me, and you need to be better.
No, you know what? He was late last time, and then he made me look like I was late, even though I was 5 minutes early. You know, I'm picking my butt over here. You know what I mean? With lights on and just sitting here in like a deer in headlights, man. Looking like an idiot.
To you guys. I owe it to the team at Roofer for help making this happen. Be better, and I make a commitment to you that I will be a better version of myself the next time we talk.
Yeah, I believe in you, man. I believe in you.
All love, brother. I appreciate you hopping on, sharing some insights. Always catching up is a pleasure. Thanks to Roofer. Thanks to y'all for watching. You're the real MVPs. Not all heroes wear capes, and we gone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.